From our Chicago studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Samana Siddiqui. Governor Newsom sues President Trump over troop surge in LA, calling it illegal and chaotic amid mass ICE protests and military deployments. This and more in today's show. Meanwhile, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says her city is being used as a test case by the federal government. She criticized the Trump administration for deploying 4,000 National Guard troops and 700 Marines during recent immigration protests. Bass warned that the move strips power from local and state governments. She said immigration and customs enforcement, or ICE raids, are targeting ordinary workers, not violent criminals as promised. Protests erupted after ICE agents raided local businesses and detained hundreds. Bass said LA is being treated like a national experiment. This should not happen in the country's second largest city, she said. In related news, California Governor Gavin Newsom has announced a lawsuit against President Donald Trump. Newsom accuses Trump of provoking chaos by sending 4,000 troops to Los Angeles amid immigration protests. He calls the troop surge illegal and a violation of state sovereignty and says the president is using fear to seize control of California's National Guard. As well, Newsom says Trump is deploying an extra 2,000 National Guard troops, calling the move reckless and disrespectful. He claims that most troops are left idle without food or water, while only 300 are active. The Pentagon has confirmed the new deployment, saying it supports immigration and customs enforcement, or ICE, operations. Meanwhile, 700 Marines from Camp Pendleton are also being sent to LA due to threats to federal officers and buildings. Protests erupted after ICE detained hundreds in raids across the city since last week. Trump's team insists the crackdown on illegal immigration will continue. Newsom has urged calm and unity, warning that agitators will be held accountable. A congressman is pushing for tougher penalties against those who attack police during protests. Representative Tony Gonzalez says he will introduce the Curbing Offenses on Policing Services, or COPS Act, this week. The bill increases jail time and fines for assaulting law enforcement or interfering with their duties. It also defines fireworks and other projectiles as deadly weapons. Gonzalez blames recent protests in Los Angeles on what he calls anarchy, not peaceful dissent. His move follows violent clashes after immigration and customs enforcement, or ICE, raids last Friday that led to hundreds of detentions. Hundreds of protesters in New York on Monday denounced mass arrests carried out by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. They gathered in Lower Manhattan, accusing the agency of targeting undocumented migrants and violating human rights. The demonstration, organized by immigrant advocacy groups, took place outside Federal Plaza. Some protesters were detained during the demonstrations. Health Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. has removed all 17 members of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC's, Vaccine Advisory Committee. The committee advises the CDC on vaccine policy and schedules. He announced the decision in the Wall Street Journal, saying the panel had become a rubber stamp for vaccines and was riddled with conflicts of interest. Experts say Kennedy, who is known for anti-vaccine views, is weakening vaccine infrastructure. Health and Human Services officials confirmed that the panel, which was appointed under former President Joe Biden, will be replaced. Kennedy claims the overhaul is to restore public trust in health agencies and ensure transparent, unbiased science. He has also rolled back funding for vaccine access to low-income children since joining the Trump administration. The move has drawn concern from health experts, but Kennedy says public trust has eroded and only gold standard science will win it back. The Council on American Islamic Relations, or Cair, is welcoming the end of the Department of Homeland Security's Quiet Skies surveillance program. Since 2010, it had used undercover U.S. air marshals to surveil passengers. It cost taxpayers $200 million annually, but reportedly failed to prevent a single terror attack. The program was also accused of bias and inconsistencies. Cair compared the end of the initiative to the 2016 scrapping of the NSEERS program, which had targeted Muslim and Arab travelers. The Muslim civil rights organization is now urging the government to end all secret watch lists that continue to target innocent Americans without due process. Cair has led multiple legal challenges against these programs, arguing that they impose a second-class citizenship on Muslim Americans. Hind Rajab Foundation files a war crimes complaint in the UK against Israel over its raid on a Gaza-bound aid ship and detention of activists. This and more coming up next. A small new study has found that eating 1 cup of chickpeas or black beans every day lowers cholesterol and reduces inflammation. Presented at the American Society for Nutrition meeting, the research involved 72 pre-diabetic adults. They added either chickpeas, black beans, or white rice to their diet for 12 weeks. Those who ate chickpeas saw their cholesterol drop back into the healthy range. Both chickpea and black bean eaters also showed lower levels of blood inflammation. While some participants reported mild digestive discomfort, symptoms improved as their bodies adjusted. The Belgium-based Hind Rajab Foundation has filed a war crimes complaint in the UK against Israel. It accuses the Israeli Navy of illegally intercepting the Madeleine, a UK-flagged aid ship headed to Gaza this week. The complaint targets Israel's naval commander and Shayetet 13 unit. The group says Israeli forces raided the ship in international waters, used chemical irritants, and detained 12 activists. The ship was part of the Freedom Flotilla coalition and aimed to challenge Israel's blockade of Gaza. It was escorted to the city of Ashdod under military guard. Israel has not commented, but says the detainees are undergoing medical checks before likely deportation. The foundation cites UK and international laws alleging torture, unlawful detention, and rights violations. The Israeli Foreign Ministry said on Tuesday that activists from the humanitarian aid ship had been taken to the airport for deportation. Israeli attacks across Gaza on Tuesday killed 57 Palestinians and injured more than 300. Israeli forces opened fire on a crowd waiting for food near a Gaza Humanitarian Foundation aid site, shooting dead 19 people and wounding dozens of others. Witnesses say drones also fired at the group. Doctors say victims were taken to Al-Auda and Al-Quds hospitals. Such attacks near aid sites have been occurring almost daily, with hundreds killed since late May. A Palestinian photojournalist and 3 paramedics were also killed in separate Israeli attacks during rescue missions in Gaza City. Meanwhile, the UK plans to sanction far-right Israeli ministers Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich, joining Canada and others. UN experts accuse Israel of crimes against humanity, including the extermination of the Palestinian people. Israel has killed over 64,000 Palestinians since the start of its genocide in Gaza in October 2023, according to a report published in January by the British medical journal The Lancet. Palestinian officials say more than 126,000 have been wounded in the same time period. Israel faces war crimes charges at the International Criminal Court and a genocide case at the International Court of Justice. The UN says Israel blocked all humanitarian aid missions into Gaza over their Eid al-Adha weekend, worsening the crisis in the region. UN spokesman Farhan Haq confirmed that Israel kept the Karam's Abu Salim crossing closed on Friday and Saturday, halting all supply deliveries. He said major challenges continue with unsafe routes, few drivers, and convoys facing long delays due to ongoing Israeli military operations. The UN's humanitarian office warns that the crisis has reached unprecedented levels of despair, with hunger spreading and people risking their lives to find food. In northern Gaza, over 68,000 gallons of UN fuel were looted after Israel denied 14 UN requests to retrieve it since May 15th. Fuel access is also blocked in southern Rafah, threatening to halt all aid operations soon. Meanwhile, in the occupied West Bank, the Israeli military is destroying roads and cutting access to services. Israel killed nearly 150 Palestinians in bombings on Eid. The UN Ocean Conference in France this week has warned that the world's oceans are in a deepening state of emergency. Top scientists say climate change, pollution, acidification, and overfishing are pushing marine ecosystems to a tipping point. UN official Li Junhua and leading researchers stress that ocean threats now interact and amplify one another, creating cascading risks. Professor Callum Roberts said oceans have absorbed over 90% of heat from greenhouse gases since the Industrial Revolution, shielding land temperatures from catastrophic rise. But this has damaged marine life, including widespread coral die-offs. A key focus of the conference is the UN High Seas Treaty, aimed at protecting biodiversity in international waters. Only 28 nations have ratified it so far. 60 are needed. Experts hope the summit will spur urgent global action. Millions of Muslims are wrapping up the annual Hajj pilgrimage in Makkah, Saudi Arabia, after completing all of the sacred rituals. Pilgrims from across the globe performed the final farewell tawaf around the Kaaba, marking the end of their spiritual journey. They earlier stood in prayer at Arafat and Muzdalifah and stoned the symbolic pillars representing Satan at Jamarat, starting with the largest, Aqaba Jamra. Key rites such as the visiting tawaf, sa'i between Safa and Marwa, animal sacrifice, and head shaving were completed. These acts signify purification and devotion. With rituals complete, pilgrims are leaving the holy city with hearts full of prayer, officially earning the title of Haji. The Hajj, one of Islam's 5 pillars, draws millions annually to Makkah in a display of faith and unity. A 16-year-old deaf and mute girl in a remote tribal village of Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir's Doda district has completed handwriting an entire copy of the Quran. Mavish Arif spent 9 months handwriting the holy book by herself. Arif was born with hearing and speech impairments and has no formal training in Quran transcription. Her family says she refused any help, offering 5 daily prayers and dedicating her days to the task using just a pencil. They say she worked daily from 4 a.m., spending hours in seclusion, writing the holy text with devotion and precision. The Imam of Jama Masjid Gundo, who verified the manuscript, praised its beauty and clarity. Arif's school principal called her a role model, saying her silent determination has uplifted the entire district. That's all from our Chicago studios tonight. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. Please donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.